We are going to be investigating air masses. Where does Earth's weather happen? Well, hopefully you remember that the answer to that is troposphere, which is where we live, and it is the closest atmospheric layer to Earth's surface. The troposphere is going to contain most of the atmosphere's clouds and water vapor. So sometimes we have a large mass of air that remains over an area for an extended period of time without moving. We call this stagnant air. Stagnant air can form anywhere, but it usually forms over surfaces that are uniform or unvarying and contain few mountains. These areas are called source regions. As air stagnates or stands still, it changes, and the changes we see depend on the type of surface below the air. So here we have a picture of the Gulf of Mexico. What kind of changes do you think might happen to stagnant air over the Gulf of Mexico? We're going to look at this picture a little bit closer to see if our prediction was correct. Alright, so what we see here is a large mass of air moving up from Gulf of Mexico up over the United States, and it says that this air is warm, moist air. Now that makes sense based on what we know about the Gulf of Mexico. There's a large body of water, so the air would be moist because it's probably picked up a lot of water vapor along the way. And it would become warm because the Gulf of Mexico is closer to the equator and it is warmer in that region. Large, thick bodies of air that are uniform or the same throughout in temperature and humidity are called air masses. There are 7 different air masses that affect the United States. The one flowing up from the Gulf of Mexico is called maritime tropical, and the code that meteorologists use is lowercase m, capital T. Let's just look at the names of the other air masses. Also note the codes that are used. You might come back to this as we talk about what each of these names mean. So maritime means the air mass has formed over an ocean or a sea. Continental means the air mass has formed over a continent. Polar means the air mass has formed in a cold polar latitude. And tropical means the air mass is formed in warm tropical latitudes. These are the codes that meteorologists use. Lowercase c is continental. Lowercase m means maritime. Capital P is for polar, and capital T stands for tropical. When writing these, the kind of surface over which the air mass forms is written first in lowercase letter. Then the tropical or polar designation follows. So the notation for continental polar air mass would be lowercase c, capital P. Air masses rarely, if ever, form over the United States. Why do you think that is? I want for you to come to class with an answer to this question, and we will talk about it at the beginning of class. Be prepared to share.